first, fair, accurate. From our newsrooms in Eugene, Roseburg, and Coos Bay, KPAL News starts now.
We're tracking the efforts by firefighters tonight as they try to put out a fire at Mount Pisgah. Good evening, I'm David Walker.
And I'm Stephanie Domerat. Thanks for joining us tonight. The fire broke out just before noon today. It has burned at least 50 acres so far. KPAL's Kelsey Christensen is joining us now live near Mount Pisgah with an update. Kelsey.
Hey guys, that's right. I'm just off Highway 58 right now, just ahead of the fire. I'm going to give you a look right behind me. We've been seeing multiple aircrafts come back and forth just to grab water to dump on that fire now. As for the park, we're learning some updates. All trails are going to be closed throughout the weekend, so firefighters can continue to fight the fire as well as mop it up. I just spoke with Lane County officials who tell me wireless notifications were sent out letting any hikers in the area know that they had to evacuate. Again, that's through the main entrance. This is a great reminder if you had any friends go out there and hike today to give them a call or a text and just say, hey, are you okay? Make sure that they got out of there, out of that main entrance. Now, there are no evacuations right now for the farms around the park area. ODF and Douglas Forest Protective Association are responding to the fire right now. They don't know what caused it just yet, but it's going to be a really aggressive attack as this is a very grassy and timber rich area. Right now there are 3 helicopters out, 1 large air tanker, and of course ground crews. There are about 85 to 100 people working the fire right now. And I also just spoke with ODOT earlier today who said the highway is going to remain open, but just reminds drivers to slow down and look out for firefighters or any other first responders. Back to you.
Breaking news this evening. 2 people are dead in West Eugene tonight. Eugene police say both were found dead at a house between Roosevelt Boulevard and Terry Lee Lane. KPAL's Perry Eliadarani is live on the scene tonight in West Eugene. Perry, what do we know so far?
Well, we're standing in front of the incident where police first responded to reports of gunshots just after 1 p.m. this afternoon. Now, the scene has calmed down significantly, you can see, but here's what it looked like before this afternoon. Police were surrounding the home, and upon entering, they found 2 people already deceased. EPD isn't releasing any more information about this incident at this time, but they emphasized there was no outstanding threat to the public. Now, this is an ongoing investigation, so we'll be sure to update information as soon as we receive it. We'll also hear tonight reactions from neighbors who were shocked to learn about this tragedy so close to home. In Eugene, I'm Perry Eliadarani.
Now to a KPAL follow-up. Parts of Peace Health Sacred Heart Medical Center at Riverbend in Springfield are still on lockdown tonight after 2 gun-related incidents in just 1 day. Now, we have just confirmed with hospital staff that a patient took their own life yesterday inside the facility with a gun. This happened yesterday morning, and Springfield police say in a separate incident later that day, a suspicious person was escorted off the campus after bringing a gun into the hospital lobby. Well, KPAL's Crystal Kumwe is joining us live tonight. She's at Riverbend Hospital. Crystal, what areas of the hospital are back open?
Jackie, the hospital says several entrances are reopening. As we speak, there are 4 entrances currently open, including the main lobby and a 3rd floor surgery entrance. Now, we spoke to the communications director of Peace Health, Marcy Marshall, and she tells us the lockdowns were prompted by 2 separate incidents involving guns that happened on Thursday. She said a patient died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound early Thursday morning. And later that afternoon, a separate incident, a man was escorted off the campus, which prompted the lockdown. Springfield police say Sean Woostig went into Riverbend's lobby with a gun inside a gun case. He then left the hospital and was arrested yesterday afternoon after allegedly trying to get into cars in the Cloverleaf Loop area. Riverbend staff then found a rifle and a gun case in the south parking garage, and that's what triggered the lockdown.
I think at this point in time, we're going to continue throughout the day in this status of the 4 entrances, and then we'll reassess later today to see what the access will be through the weekend.
Marshall says staff members acted appropriately and the response to the incident followed standard protocol. Once again, some parts of the hospital, according to Marshall, which you just heard, are on lockdown for precautionary measures as they assess the situation. As of right now, we'll bring you all the latest details as we get them. Jackie?
Well, good evening, and thanks for joining us here for KPAL News at 6 o'clock. And the wildfire in southern Oregon is the big story.
Hundreds of homes are threatened right now in the area. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Stephanie Domerat.
And I'm David Walker. We thank you for joining us. That fire tonight, just 10% contained, and now FEMA is authorizing federal funds to help with firefighting costs there in southern Oregon. Those costs have already exceeded $3 million.
Dan McCarthy is live for us now in the area with the very latest. Dan, any word on why this fire is so tough to fight?
Well, good evening, guys. The difficulty really boils down to, according to crews at least, the location of the fire along I-5 as well as the slope. Let's take a quick look at some of the smoke just off to the east of us here, or excuse me, the west of us. This is on the southbound side. Now, crews have been telling us just because of the proximity to I-5, there's been a lot of issues dealing with the traffic that's been making its way through. Some of the rubberneckers looking at the firefighting being done. And then more importantly, just the slope. It's been an issue for firefighters just because there was actually an older wildfire here from about 30 years ago that wasn't cleaned up properly. So now a lot of these trees are getting burned after being rotted years ago. And then they're falling and sliding and hitting some of the firefighters. Obviously, as we've heard, there was an injury to a firefighter last night. He has since recovered. But that is just some of the examples of why this has been such a difficult fire to fight.
So many firefighters there. Last count, we heard about 1,000 firefighters already. Are there more crews coming in or expected today?
Well, guys, that is the big increase from yesterday to today. I haven't heard in the past day or so whether more crews have been coming in through this afternoon, but we were at around 900 yesterday. We're up over 1,000 now, so about a 300 number of firefighters that increased or came into the area to battle this thing in the past day or so. And like I mentioned, one has been hurt. But it's been a fire that has had a lot of people's attention. As we've been here, we've seen a lot of helicopters coming in and out. I mean, they've done a couple dozen runs over our head just to bring some water in. So we're seeing a lot on the air attack side. And as I mentioned, a lot more crews that came in from yesterday to today.
And Dan, we did hear that there were structures that are being threatened, but there's a lot of small communities there, tight-knit, smaller communities in that area. Are they being threatened at this time?
Well, I'm in Azalea right now, and I had a chance to talk to a couple of residents, and you know, they weren't really too moved by the whole situation. They're under level 2 evacuation. That's get set. At this point in time, only 3 homes are on go level 3 evacuation. We just wanted to give you a quick look at the helicopter flying overhead now. This guy's coming back to make another run of water and will assuredly be making its way back to the fire. But anyway, we did speak to 2 community members who just said, yeah, they're ready for it. They're on level 2. They even have hoses in their backyard. Their plans aren't to leave, but rather to stay here and deal with the fire if it does cross the I-5 and make its way over this way. But for now, I'm live in Azalea. Dan McCarthy, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, Dan, thank you so much.